Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist, joins us now. Derrell, I can't believe we're already into September and talking about fall marketing of calves. What are you seeing with the market?
Well, if you take just normal seasonal patterns from where we are right now, we would normally expect these calves to drop off to a low in October. Certainly we have a little bit bigger calf crop this year, so we know there will be a sizable calf run. There's plenty of pressure there, if you will, or tendency for that seasonal price to develop that way. Of course, it depends, especially in the southern plains, we're going to be looking at wheat pasture conditions and some fall demand factors. Those can mitigate that seasonal pattern a little bit. So we have to watch it as it goes, but generally we would look for lower prices, seasonally lower prices as we move into through September and into October.
In terms of strategy, are there retained ownership possibilities for fall wean calves?
Cow-calf producers that could be selling wean calves in, say, October, may want to look at the opportunity to retain those calves through a stocker phase. They'll be evaluating, sort of the value of putting some additional weight on those calves. Often it's going to depend on how light the calves are at weaning and how long you might retain them or how much total weight you might put on them. They're going to evaluate that much like a stocker producer would. And there does appear to be some opportunities. It's just going to depend on those details. I'd put a pencil to it.
Oklahoma, of course, is a big wheat pasture grazing state. How is the situation looking there as we head into wheat planting time?
Well, obviously the big question is will we have wheat pasture? Conditions look generally pretty good, I think, at this point. We've had rain in a lot of places. It's been a little bit spotty, so we'd be watching that. Now, I remember a year ago at this time, it also looked pretty good. We had some moisture, we had cooler temperatures, cooler soils, but as it turned out, when the rain shut off in September, it never really started again, and so we didn't wind up with a very good wheat pasture year. So we'll have to watch that going forward.
And what about those considering the cull cow market?
Well, a lot of these cow-calf producers, they wean the calves in the fall. They'll be looking at those cull cows. Again, seasonally, we normally look for a low. It actually happens usually in November, right after we wean calves. We've already got a very weak cull cow market. It dropped much more dramatically than we really anticipated this summer. There may not be a lot of good opportunities between now and about Thanksgiving, but if it stays as weak as it is, and we get to that point before you make those culling decisions, producers may want to think about the possibility of retaining those cows through the winter, at least for a while, January, February, March, and putting some weight on them. Many years that pays off pretty well if you have some feed resources that you don't have a higher valued use for. So I think it's kind of a wait and see. Unless you need to do something right now, there's really not a lot of good opportunities in the near term here for this cull cow market.
Just kind of keep an eye on it.
You bet.
Okay, Derrell, thanks a lot.